My first series of duo stencils have been doing so well that we've added another batch for Christmas and holiday. And as you can tell, in each package you end up having 2 stencils, a pen, a fine line pen, and a batch of note cards. And so you get 6 blank note cards that are folded, and that comes in the back of the package. And you're also going to see lots of fun ideas on the back of each one. So an interesting package option is I simply cut along this edge of the little cello bags, and that way they can stay on the backing card and the stencils can slide in and out from the side, keeping the sets together. So let me show you how these fun patterns will work together and give you lots of mix and match options. I generally start with my fine line pen, position my stencil, and begin to, with the pen straight up and down, glide all the way around the compartments to trace the pattern. And in this one, I've simply done the open tree, and then the second stencil is designed to work together. And let me slide this one out. You can enjoy doing this one separately, as you can see over here. And if you line them up with the copyrights going together at the bottom edge, they will align perfectly to create the pattern that you see up here. Okay? But of course you can use them separately and mix and match and begin to get a lot of fun combinations. And if you enjoy doing some stentangle work, as we call it, you can do patterns within patterns, just in black and white, or using perhaps any of your different fun markers, and you begin to get a lot of interesting looks. As well, you can enjoy, just after you do your tracing, do your color pencils or Copic markers to color in all of the different shapes. And on most of these samples, I've used the fitted frames and then the Build-A-Wreath to create all of the easy little embellishments. Here's some more fun patterns with the stentangle and combining the snowflakes into the trees or into the ornaments for a lot of fun patterns. Here's a lot of things with the ornaments, and again I'm borrowing some of the previously released duo stencils to combine patterns. Here's the poinsettia. And the background was just used a couple of times to create a whole continuous pattern. Here's my little birds. You can add a tree in behind and even trace some of the penguins perhaps into the ornaments, as well as the bird from the duo stencils. Here's more snowflakes, combinations, and birds and snowflakes. I like the look I get here by simply tracing with a white marker or pen, and I can get into all of the little details, and then I can begin adding a little bit more shading with the white and get a very nice but very simple look. And you can try that on all different colors of paper as well. Now I want to show you how I created this really sparkly look with the poinsettia. And this is a variation of the double glitter technique. And it requires some double-sided adhesive. And you can see here I've cut out an interesting shape. And once I remove the liner, you won't be able to see it. But this is a panel of the double-sided adhesive. So the most important thing with this process is to protect your stencil and not let it get stuck onto that tape permanently. So what you'll want to do, and in this case I've got the copyright side down, so on the back I'm going to take my Versamark or a clear ink, and I'm simply going to cover the entire surface of the metal stencil. And it gets shiny to where I can see that it's completely covered. And then once I remove this liner, I'll be able to position the stencil sticky side to sticky side, and once that's in place, then I can begin to sprinkle all of my different reds and greens through the stencil and cover all of that area. And then to remove the stencil, I'm going to turn it over and peel the paper back, releasing the stencil, and then all of that area in the background can then be done in a double step using a contrasting silver glitter or maybe the crystal glitter, and that's going to give contrast to all of the reds and the greens in the middle of the pattern. And on this one, I actually used the encrusted jewel kit, so I had embossing powders and fragments and anything that came in that kit. So if you do one with embossing powders, then you'll want to take your clip tool and heat it so that it finishes heating and melting the embossing powder across the surface. Then you have a nice finish to it, and that's just the shortcut way there, but I wanted to highlight that idea. And this one here, you can see I did in a similar process, and this one I should have shown you first because it's very easy. With this stencil and one of the little micro glitter kits with all the blues and the crystal, you can much more randomly just apply the different colors. And so through the stencil I did the blues, and then removing the stencil again, I could do crystal in the background. Here's another beautiful card that was done with the double glitter technique with the micro glitters and then crystal across the background. And in this case, you're going to have to use your little scissors, but to cut around the outside edge, this one is an easy one to do that since you don't have a die for this one. But you can trim and leave that white perimeter, and it looks beautiful as a finished card.